What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all doing great. Before we get into it, I owe you all a massive apology for being completely ghost for the past 3 months. To be completely honest with you guys, some personal things came up that just totally drained my energy and focus, making it impossible to create content. Honestly, I'm still sorting through some of it, but I realized that just sitting around wasn't going to fix anything. My love for comics and talking about this stuff with you guys is what actually keeps me motivated. So, no matter what, I am back, and I am so excited to get things rolling again. Thank you all so much for your patience and for understanding. For our big return today, we are diving into something incredibly important. James Gunn has completely flipped the script with the new DCU, and with so many projects and breaking news dropping lately, it's honestly getting a bit hard to keep track. So today, we're breaking down all the latest updates, the massive upcoming projects, and most importantly, the definitive step-by-step watch order for the DCU so far. If you're ready to get caught up with everything DC, make sure to smash that like button, hit subscribe if you haven't already, and let's get right into the video. Alright, let's first take a look at the projects that have officially dropped so far from this new universe and see how they actually performed. Everything kicked off with the animated adult series Creature Commandos. This project was a huge risk for James Gunn because he went with lesser-known characters, but it turned out great. Critics and fans gave awesome feedback on its mature tone, dark humor, and slick action, proving that the new DC isn't just trying to copy Marvel. But the real bombshell was the Superman movie, directed by James Gunn himself, which hit theaters last year. This movie was officially the live-action launchpad for the franchise. David Corenswet did an amazing job as the new Superman, and the film managed to do pretty well at the box office too. It wasn't an absolutely mind-blowing masterpiece, but it wasn't bad either. It was honestly a good movie that gave fans plenty of hope at the start of this journey. That being said, it did have some negative points, like Superman's suit itself, which I think could have looked a lot better. It looked way too baggy on David Corenswet. After that, we got Season 2 of Peacemaker. James Gunn confirmed that the story of this season connects directly to the events of the Superman movie, officially bringing Peacemaker into the main DCU timeline. The series was really solid. But now, let's dive into the current and brand new DCU projects that are dropping in the coming years, with a few of them coming out later this year, and check out all the latest news and details. I'll go through them one by one based on the release order. First up, let's talk about the Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow movie, which they finally decided to just title Supergirl. Production on this film is fully wrapped, and it's getting ready for release. In terms of the timeline, this is the closest DCU movie on the horizon, and it's hitting theaters on June 26, 2026. Millie Alcock is playing Supergirl. James Gunn has stated that this movie is a massive sci-fi epic and way more brutal than what people normally expect from Supergirl. Unlike Superman, this version of the character actually grew up on a drifting fragment of Krypton, watching the planet destroy itself right before her eyes, along with the tragic deaths of her entire family. The story is heavily based on the famous comic Woman of Tomorrow, written by Tom King, giving us a major spacefaring sci-fi epic. Just a few days ago, the final trailer dropped, so now we just have to wait and see how it performs on the big screen. According to a Deadline report, the film has a production budget of $175 million, which means it needs to hit at least $315 million to start breaking even. Personally, after watching the trailers, I really dig the vibe of the movie, and I think it easily has what it takes to hit those numbers. That being said, I do have a few criticisms of James Gunn here, mainly that the marketing for these upcoming DCU movies just hasn't been great at all as they get closer to release. I really hope they fix this flaw moving forward. The next project is the series Lanterns, which is set to start broadcasting in August 2026 on HBO Max. This 8-episode series focuses its attention on two of the most popular Green Lanterns, Hal Jordan, played by Kyle Chandler, and Jon Stewart, played by Aaron Pierre. Chris Mundy, who has a background working on famous shows like Ozark, is the showrunner and main writer for this project. The story of the show is completely grounded and built in the style of dark crime dramas, and James Gunn has compared it to the famous series True Detective. Based on the latest info in the trailer released back in March, these two lanterns are working as two intergalactic detectives investigating a mysterious murder case in the heart of America. This criminal case eventually leads them toward a very dark and massive secret on Earth that drives the entire story of the first chapter of the new DC universe forward and connects it to future cinematic projects. Personally, my own take on this show is that, first of all, I would have loved to see a young Hal Jordan as the main Green Lantern in the DCU, but unfortunately that didn't happen, and John Stewart is actually the main Green Lantern. Even in the show's trailer, this point gets brought up, hinting that only one person between John and Hal can have the ring, and the other one has to go without it. It's definitely going to end up with John getting the ring by the end of the show. There are also tons of rumors going around, with a lot of people saying Hal dies at the end of the show, while others say no, Hal just retires and will show up in the Man of Tomorrow movie. Well, either way, we won't really know until the show actually drops. Overall, I think this show has the potential to become a really good series. We just have to see what the creative team delivers. One of the most exciting and unexpected projects that James Gunn has greenlit is the standalone Clayface movie. This film is being directed by James Watkins, and Matt Reeves, the director of The Batman, is attached to the project as a producer, which guarantees the movie's dark atmosphere. The latest news confirms that this project will be a completely dark, R-rated film. The story of the movie focuses on the origin of this character and his transformation into a mud monster, and it's set to showcase the psychological and terrifying layers of this famous Gotham villain. By greenlighting this project, James Gunn proved that in the new DC universe, all movies aren't going to look exactly the same, and genre diversity is super important to him. Production on this film is moving along fast to get ready for an October release and completely satisfy horror fans. The first trailer for this movie has dropped too, and I think it could be a great film. We might even see Batman show up at the very end of it, or at least get a short cameo. The next project that has been announced and is already in production is actually Man of Tomorrow, which could be the very first crossover project of this universe.
This movie is currently filming, and a lot of set photos have leaked recently, making it look like we're in for a really exciting movie. James Gunn has stated that the events of this film take place exactly 2 years after the first Superman movie. The main villain of this film is Brainiac, played by Lars Eidinger, and this movie will probably lay the groundwork for the formation of the Justice League in the new universe. The characters who are in other projects of this universe and have been confirmed to show up in this movie are Supergirl, Green Lantern John Stewart, Hawkgirl, Mr. Terrific, Guy Gardner, and most of the cast from the first Superman movie will be in this one as well. Also, Audrey Arjona has joined the cast, and according to a Deadline report, she will be playing Maxima. Of course, Eva Dominici is also part of the cast, and right now the biggest debate on social media is what roles these two, meaning Eva Dominici and Audrey Arjona, will actually play in the movie. According to the rumors, Audrey Arjona is playing Maxima, and Eva Dominici is playing Wonder Woman. But some other people say the situation is the exact opposite. Personally, I hope Eva Dominici is playing Wonder Woman because she looks a lot more like the character. But in the end, we'll have to see what happens and who actually plays Wonder Woman. Overall, there's a high chance we'll see some major surprises in this movie, and since it's going to show the formation of the Justice League, a lot of heroes will probably show up, and we might even get Batman, though personally, I think the chances of that are pretty low. Let's jump into the main section, which is the definitive step-by-step watch order for this new universe that James Gunn has laid out for us so far. Look guys, to better understand the events of this universe, especially the Peacemaker series, before you even start this new world, you need to go back and watch Season 1 of Peacemaker, and also watch The Suicide Squad 2021 directed by James Gunn, just so you fully get what's going on. There's absolutely no need to watch any other movies from the previous universe. Just these two projects are essential, one being a show and the other a movie. The official timeline of this universe officially kicks off with the adult animated series Creature Commandos. Here you're introduced to Amanda Waller, who puts together a Black Ops team of monsters for suicide missions. The important thing to note is that the voice actors from this animation will also play the exact same characters in future live-action projects. Right after this animation, you need to move on to the first and most crucial live-action film, which is the Superman movie. Once this movie drops, it lays down the core foundation of the new DC universe and introduces the rest of the heroes. The story focuses on a young Superman trying to find a balance between his alien origin and his human upbringing. Besides Clark Kent, this movie introduces other heroes into the universe, like Mr. Terrific and Guy Gardner. The next project, taking the third spot on this list, is Season 2 of the Peacemaker series. James Gunn confirmed that the events of Season 1 took place in the old universe, but Season 2 is officially an inseparable part of this new universe. The story of this season directly follows and connects to the aftermath and final events of the Superman movie.
Also, Rick Flag Sr. from the Creature Commandos animation shows up in this series to get revenge for his son. The fourth project in this timeline is the next big cinematic piece, which is the Supergirl movie. This film, which is coming out pretty soon, tells the story of Kara Zor-El in the form of a cosmic sci-fi epic.
Even though this project takes place in space, it shares full timeline continuity with the events on Earth and the Superman movie. The fifth step in the watch order is the highly anticipated crime and detective series Lanterns. This show is scheduled to drop in August of this year and focuses on Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart. The detective story of these two Lanterns uncovers a dark secret on Earth that connects directly to future projects. The sixth project in this timeline is the standalone dark horror film Clayface, which hits theaters in October of this year. This movie adds deeper, darker tones in the horror genre to the main timeline of James Gunn's universe. And the very last project in the timeline so far is the movie currently in production, Man of Tomorrow, which is scheduled for release in 2027. Alright guys, that is all the latest news and the exact roadmap for the new DC universe up to this point. James Gunn is truly pushing forward with some massive plans and has shown that he wants to build a completely unified, diverse, and exciting universe for us. Everything from adult animation to detective shows and even horror movies like Clayface. Now it's your turn. Drop a comment down below and tell me which project you're looking forward to seeing the most out of all of these. Are you feeling hopeful about the future of this new universe? Or do you think DC still has a long way to go to hit its peak again? Definitely write down your thoughts because I read every single one of them, and I've seriously missed chatting with you guys in the comment section. If you enjoyed this comeback video, make sure to smash that like button and share the video with your comic-loving friends. If you haven't joined our family yet, hit that subscribe button right now and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss out on future videos. Thank you all so much for sticking around until the end of this video, and I appreciate your support and understanding during this time more than anything. Until the next video, take care of yourselves, and peace out.